We have all heard that the DPDPA is India's answer to digital privacy. But here's a question worth pausing for. What happens when the same law allows wide access and exemptions to the government? Are we protecting user privacy or just rebranding surveillance? Welcome to episode 2 of Charcha Shots. Today, we look beyond the headlines and ask, is the DPDPA truly a privacy act or a government surveillance tool? To help us navigate this, once again we are joined by Mr. Ajay Sharma, Dr. Pooja Saxena and Mr. 𝗍𝗵𝗿 𝗏. So let the Charcha begin.
No, it is a Privacy Act, and it is quite a revolutionary act if you look at from the Indian context point of view. The act is actually for the privacy of the data subject, but the government has some exemptions, which are available under Rule 17 of the DPDP Act. The government, in case they require, they can actually go into the personal data of the data subject and use it in specific cases. There are specific cases, which are mentioned there. So, so they have the surveillance process, but by default, DPDP is for the privacy of the data subject.
That's the elephant in the room. On the surface, it's a privacy law, but broad state exemptions and non-independent regulatory raise concerns. Having studied surveillance frameworks across nations, one thing is clear. Law labeled as privacy acts can also be powerful surveillance tools. We need to keep asking who's watching the watchers.
On paper, the DPDPA is primarily a privacy protection law granting individual rights over their data and mandating security and accountability from the data controller. But it also includes broad exemptions under Section 17 for government access in matters of national security, public order, or sovereignty. These exemptions, in absence of robust oversight, will risk morphing this law into a surveillance enabler. Ultimately, whether it is used to protect privacy or to surveil depends on how responsibly these powers are exercised and, critically, whether independent oversight mechanisms are built in.
Sometimes all it takes is the right question to make things a little clearer. A big thanks to our speakers for bringing their experience and insight to this conversation. We've heard their perspectives, now we'd like to hear yours. What's your verdict? Privacy or power play? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if there's a question you'd like featured next, send it our way. Until next time, stay sharp, stay secure, and keep the Charcha going.